Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Thoughts on Education. So today we have with us Dr. Manjunath Ghate, who is the director of the Institute of Pharmacy at Nirma University. So sir, it is great to have you here, and we would start off with an introduction of yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you, Tejas and College Dunia for giving me this opportunity and talk to you people. I'm Manjunath Ghate. I'm Director and Dean, Faculty of Pharmacy, Nirma University, and with the additional responsibility as advisor, R&D for the Nirma University. We started our institute way back in 2003, the same year when the Nirma University was established. And almost we have completed 17 years now, and we received the 18th rank, the National Institute ranking framework, and we are one of the best institute and leading institute in the state of Gujarat.
So that is great, sir. And who has not heard of Nirma University if you are in Gujarat? So that is true. So what are the key factors that have kept you connected to the education sector?
Main key factor is a student. We are always talking to young minds, and this pharmacy profession earlier, if you see, before the COVID pandemic, maybe many of them must have not aware about pharmacy field. Now because of the COVID also, everyone and everybody is talking about the new pharmaceutical ingredients or the vaccines or how to treat these diseases. So we are with the students, and it also motivates us to do something new in the field of pharmacy. And we have postgraduate students, then we have PhD students. Recently, we have taken a postdoctoral student also. It is a new thing in the private sector, any university having a postdoctoral students. And in Nirma University, especially Institute of Pharmacy, we have a student who is doing postdoctoral here.
Okay. That is true, sir. That is true, because now in the coming times, they say that biowarfare is the thing to come, and maybe that is where pharmacy is going to come into a very big role. Yes, and that is something which is to be tackled upon.
Yes.
And so how does the curriculum of Nirma Institute of Pharmacy ensure the best practice in the industry?
In 2017, Pharmacy Council of India has taken a step in terms of curriculum, teaching examination scheme, and the program outcome, everything. They made uniform throughout India the curriculum for B.Pharm program, M.Pharm program. So there is very little space for us to change our curriculum. But what we do in Nirma University is, along with that, whatever specified by the regulatory agency, along with that, we offer many courses. We offer many courses in such a way that students are getting the best knowledge and updated knowledge. And one of the important aspects, recently we started with the University of Southern California, a course. It's an optional course we kept. This course is taught by faculty from Nirma University and faculty from University of Southern California, USA. So it's a joint course we proposed, and this course is on regulatory affairs. So every Monday around 7:30 p.m. to 11:30, our students, around 20 students from our side and 10 students from their side. So 30 students are there in this course, and they take this course, and the faculty from our side will be taking half of the course and their side. So it's a joint course we started with the University of Southern California. So what happens in this course, there are project work, they are going to solve some problems. So 2 students from Nirma and 1 student from USC were joined together and work on a project. So they interact with the faculty. So these kind of initiatives we have taken. So these are new initiatives so that our students get benefited in such kind of courses and interact with the universities from USA These are things we are doing, and we are utilizing this pandemic so that online things can happen here. That's what we are doing. And we are also planning to do with the Massachusetts Institute of Health Science. We have a MOU with them, similar kind of framework we are going to work on.
That is true, sir, because collaborating with other universities and other leading institutions will, keep you in toes with what is going on and what is it that you could exchange with them, and what is the research that you are doing over there and what is the research they're doing over there. And collaborating together actually helps in, increasing the knowledge base of a student as well.
Yes.
So, what do you think your roles and responsibilities to the college and to the students are?
As I said, I'm also director. I look after the administrative aspect of the institute, as well as I'm dean, academic aspects. So I look after both administrative and academic. So as a academic head, my role is to initiate new courses, new curriculum for the students, updated curriculum, bring in industry people to teach the course, bring in people from hospital, clinicians, so that our students get benefited from there, bring in people from other countries. So trying to do work with the students, project-based learning, problem-based learning, all these things we do. And as an administrator, we look into the different aspects of the institute, like, for example, admissions. We get good quality students, then our output will be good. And we look into the placements, where our students, after 4 years of their B.Pharm, where they will be recruited and which all companies are going to come. And we analyze the students. That means in the first year or second year, we start to find out what is their interest, which industry they are planning to go, whether they are interested in teaching, whether they are interested in R&D, whether they are interested in the UPSC or any other civil services. So based on their interest, we will train them. So this is the special training sessions we conduct from industry people, personality development, other management trainings are conducted. If he wants to go for a teaching, for example, so then we'll ask him to give 20 minutes lecture to faculty members, so that we understand where he is lacking in this, how we can improve his teaching abilities. So all these things we are totally working out here, identifying what is best suits for him. And if we want to improve the communication skills, we also conduct a lot of sessions on the communication. These over and above our curriculum. We conduct short-term training programs. Then I remember last 2 years, we used to get companies like Nestle, they come for the campus recruitment. And we identified when the Nestle is coming, maybe they took 1 or 2 students from here. Then the industry, what is industry's requirement? What they expect from our students. So we had specialized training, because our alumni were there in Nestle. We called them, talked to them and asked, what you require as an industry person, what you require, what you expect from our students. Accordingly, we conducted the training session for them. So this made a lot of difference. The person who came here, he wanted to take only 1 student, and they also said that only 1 student will be taken from Nirma before coming. But at the end of the day, he said there are 3 students who are equally competent. We want to take all 3. So that kind of sessions we conduct, that helps for the students to get recruited. All these things I do as an administrator. Then we also look into alumni, where our alumni are working, and what best networking we can do, and how they can help the institute to grow. So we conduct department-wise alumni meets and institute alumni meet every year, so that at least they can come here, they talk to our juniors, their juniors, and whatever maybe some placements are available, they can speak to our and we started the alumni lecture also. So they can be also the part of our course teaching. So at least 1 or 2 sessions will be taken by alumni, each course, at least one session, so that our own seniors are taking the class. So there's no age gap between the student and a senior. Maybe student and teacher, there's a lot of age gap. So that also can be taken care of. All these things we are doing as a administrator. I'm working.
That is true, sir, because in the end, it is the responsibility of a college to, make the student comfortable and open up.
Yes.
And what is it that he or she would want to do
Yes.
is what a college has to glean out and then help them, nurture and grow, of course.
Yes.
So, what do you think should be the college's top priorities for the next 10 years?
Next 10 years, one thing, they have to work on the strategic plan. So they have to plan what they're going to do for next 5 years, because the pharma sector is growing. Pharma sector, and you need to give the competent students for the sector. Otherwise, the other sector people may join into this. When there is a boom of software, you can see there were not the software engineers joined to the software companies, maybe from other field also they pulled those people. So once the software engineers were ready, then lot of people went from there. And similarly, pharma sector is growing in the vaccination, in the biosimilars, and lot many things where pharma sector is very important. So we have to we should be responsible to produce the quality students for different sector in the pharmaceutical industry. So that should be our key focus. So it should not be that whatever we teach and student may not get job, or maybe the other field person also equally competent like us. That should not happen. If we teach vaccine, and our student should be best on that, and he can get easily absorbed by the industry. So we have to make industry ready products, that means the students, so that we have to train in that way, and we should have that kind of infrastructure, equipments, and all the SOPs or all the quality aspects should be properly maintained, regulatory aspects, everything. Our students need to know all these things. So making them competent, that should be the job of any pharmaceutical institute, and they have to plan for this. For that, they need to have good faculty, and they have to have highly reputed faculty members with good research background and good publications, good patents. Then should have collaboration with the industry. That is also key in this, so that industry people, what they need, they can only come and say, we need this kind of thing. So industry people should also be involved in teaching, learning process. Then the clinicians, they should be also involved in the clinical, see all the vaccine we talk about, there should be the clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2, all these clinical trials. Once clinician come and say this is like this, these are the toxicity or the safety parameters you should. So those clinicians also we have to get it from the hospitals, and people from abroad, the faculty members from abroad can be involved in teaching learning process, so that what the way of teaching, which is we have seen now with the USC, they teach less, but they give lot of case studies, problems, so that the critical thinking, all these aspects will be improved. So that is not there in India, I suppose. A lot of things, what their teaching methodology is more of problem based and project based. Everything is problem based and project based. Ours is more of teaching, learning, more teach and less get the work done or something like that. So that kind of things we have to bring in our system. And along with that, new educational policy talks about the interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, and a flexibility in the curriculum. Anybody can take any courses from other disciplines. So overall, development of the student, that is most important. So the institution should work, and that will be the future for next 10 years.
That is true, sir, because recently when I was, reading an article, they said that the COVID thing which we are experiencing right now, it is going to be the way of life for the human race now.
Yes.
If not COVID, there might be some other thing which would be popping up, because many strains are getting genetically modified, and we are not maybe evolving as quickly as those strains, or maybe germs or bacteria, whatever they might be, are evolving, and we have to keep up with in the pharmacy, pharmacological department, where we can actually tackle those things as well. So as you said, being more problem based instead of a theoretical based, of course being a mix of both would actually bring out a better potential to them, students as well. So of course the top priority of the college we're saying is true. So when you first came to Nirma at the Institute of Pharmacy, what was your vision for the college, and has it evolved over time, and how far along in the implementation of that vision are you?
Okay. I joined here in 2009 as a professor. Then in 2010, I became the in-charge director and final director of the institute. So when I came here, I was looking into the placement. That was a very important aspect. That time I thought this is a priority for us now. If we place our students in a good institution and they become the alumni, and over the years will not have any problem. So I started working mainly on the placements. So starting 1 year, I did a lot of things for the placements. We did training program for the students, and we started interacting with the industry people and calling them and putting them in the different committees of the institutes, and they are part of design of curriculum everywhere. So that over the years, we improved the placement. Now I would say 90 to 95% of our students are placed. Now we are looking for the quality placements. That means they get a good higher salary, that we are looking for. So the placement aspect, I think it's already it is we are doing well in that. And from there, our admission or our other things are solved because of the good placements. Then the other thing was research. I was looking into the research. In the research, we were not having so many funded projects. Our quality of publication were low. Our impact factor were low. So we conducted several training programs. We conducted a training program, research orientation program for 15 days for our faculty members. What are the different funding agencies, how to write a project, how to get the funds for the research. Then 1 year we did that, next year we did that, how to manage academic and administrative and research work. So as a faculty, you have to do teaching, you have to do research, and you have to do administrative work. All three are yours. So how to manage all this? So we had a management training for that for faculty members, 15 days exclusive training for the faculty members. Now we have the project which are funded by different funding agencies worth of 3 to 4 crores of project. Then even consultancy also we improved a lot. We have worth of 15 lakhs consultancy projects. Then we also have around 10 patents which were granted also. Then publication also we improved. So research aspects also we improved, and we increased the number of PhD students, especially full-time PhD students. When faculty is there, somebody has to work for him for research, and that is possible only by increasing the number of PhD students. So we have taken many PhD students, And some after they joined here, they got the stipend from Nirma University, and some applied to different funding agencies. They got the stipend from there. So increasing the number of PhD students, we have around 30 PhD students now at present also, as doing full-time PhD here. So that improved our research output. So it is a long way. Research now, we cannot say that I did everything, but it's a long way to go. We are not competent, maybe we are not par with Naipur, Mohali or somewhere in research because they are postgraduate teaching there. But at least we have some output in research. That's why we are 18th rank in the country. So these are the things, these are the key things I did after joining the institute.
That is great, sir. That is great. And all of this does take time, and it is a continuous process, which you said. So, of course, that is great, sir. So, what would you like people to know about your college that they might not be knowing?
College, our vision is the overall development of the students. So that overall development, we work hard for the overall development in terms of total personality. That not only in his the subjects, but also overall, he should be a all-round personality. That is the one thing I should say, because of once I remember we had a student in back in 2012 or something. So he came from a small village. I remember when he joined here, he was not able to talk to us even in Hindi. He was only talking in Gujarati. That too, not, they say that Gujarati is not from Ahmedabad, it is village type of Gujarati. But in 4 years, we saw him transformed from that to he came to some program and he spoke in English very well. And he said, first year I could not even speak one word in English. This is a transformation overall, and he became the president of our student association. He conducted many programs here. So this is a change we observe, and he's so confident. And even he sat for many interviews, and he is the first person to select in all those. And we should see this kind of transformation is only possible in Nirma. And many students who think that we are from village background and Nirma is in city, and we may not be able to cope up with their studies and all. But here, whoever comes here, they'll be transformed in 4 years, and we can see complete change. That even students tell us, then we understand. We are very happy to see our students like this.
That is great, sir, and it brings immense pleasure and pride to a faculty and the institute as well when they see such a kind of change in the student as well. That yes. This is what we have been bringing impact to the students, and yes. We have been bringing change to what they were.
Yes,
and of course that is something which every college aspires to do as well.
Yes.
So what are some of the biggest challenges that you see, both for higher education in general and for the Institute of Pharmacy at Nirma specifically?
Challenges are many. One is the admission in MPharm programs. So normally we have many branches in MPharm program, and ours is a institute where the management has to spend a lot for the new instruments, new facilities, everything. And education becomes costly compared to the other MSc programs or any other programs. So that burden goes to the students. So the higher fee structures. So because of the latest instruments latest facilities they require. Otherwise, as I said, our students should be ready for the industry. Then we give only those latest instruments to use it. Then only they can be good at it. So those things have become very expensive. So that is the biggest challenge. And we see that some of the students who are very poor background may not be able to come and study because of financial background, all these things. So if you want a good education, and you have to spend for it. So that is the one thing. Then there are many national institutes which are opening up. NIPER, now 7 NIPERs are there, National Institute of Pharmacy. The government is spending a lot of money on these NIPERs, and they also getting good facility, instrument facilities. So that is also the competition for private sectors, and getting the good projects or the funds. We can't buy all the instruments from our pocket. We have to depends on the funding agencies. And the government now, education policy, they say that the equal opportunity will be given for the government and the private sector. But till now, the private sector was not considered for many of the grants. So that was a challenge. We are not able to get those instruments. See, for example, what IIT has, those instruments, we may not be having. Or the NIPER, what they have, we may not be having here. Because they got it from the government funding agencies. But because they are not considered because we are private. So that is also the other challenge, I would say.
That is true, sir. And that is where also in your previous answer you said that you have been improving what the consultancy work which you have been doing, and maybe the collaboration with the industry and the funding agencies, that will also play a big major role over there. So getting into more research oriented and problem based situations which certainly bring in more money for the institution, where maybe the burden upon the student would maybe get a bit reduced. Of course, we cannot say that it will be totally reduced. Yes. But it will be a lot of help, and of course, on top of it, a student would be getting industry exposure as well.
Yes.
So you could say that it is like one stone and two birds. So, yes. Of course. So, any suggestions that you would like to give to the current youth and the aspiring students?
So, in this pandemic, online teaching were going on, and now slowly we are started now. So, students should take it very seriously, their career, because finally when you go, because now the percentage of number of or the youth percent in India also, it is quite high, right? So industry expects the person who knows the knowledge wise, the personality wise, attitude wise, they expect them to be as a all-round students who knows everything. So they have to work hard in these aspects, and there are many distractions because of the mobile phones, or I would say they are useful also, but they are also distractions. So they have to fix their goal, what they are going to do in their life, and they have to work for that. So hard working, that's most important, and until you work hard, you can't achieve anything.
That is true, sir. And I mean, the digital age has brought in a lot of boons, but it has brought in a lot of cons as well.
Yes.
So current youth are finding ways to earn easy money, but they're not thinking about the long term as such.
Yes.
And they may or may not be investing so much time on themselves. Yes. Maybe like educating themselves, or maybe upgrading themselves, upskilling themselves to maybe tackle the future problems which they might be facing, which our previous generation used to actually look upon as well.
Yes.
And that is true, sir, because having a fixed goal in your life is something which will guide you to what you would want to do. And so moving on, what are some plans that you are currently designing at Nirma Institute of Pharmacy?
Now we are thinking of having a research center. As I said, I'm also advisor R&D to the Nirma University. So one aspect I'm thinking is developing a research center in particular area. And this research center, wherein maybe 5 to 6 faculty members who are dedicated to the particular problem of the industry and particular problem of the society and work for that. For example, they are working on COVID-19. So they work maybe formulation of different drugs for COVID-19. So they try to all 5 sit together and try to work on that, and they write projects for funding everything on that, and they can take the students in that area. They may be having the PhD students, they may be having postgraduate, undergraduate students. So all work towards one goal, one maybe disease condition or maybe one problem. So that this maybe over the years, maybe 5 years down the line, there may be 50 to 75 people are working for one common goal. That definitely brings something or some output. So that's what we are thinking, that we are going to start at Institute of Pharmacy. So we are planning for a research center.
That would be great actually, because having an in-house research center certainly helps a student access it whenever they would want to, and
Yes.
Maybe conduct their own experiments and
Yes.
maybe trial and error kind of thing.
Yes.
So that is great. So moving on, how do you tend to establish a healthy relation and environment in your college?
Healthy relation with the faculty and
Faculty, students, overall, as in.
yeah. One basic thing, what we lack many times, we are not good listeners. Normally, some people will have some problems, maybe student or faculty. They come and express their views on any conflicts or anything. We don't listen to them. And if you listen to them, and 90% of the problem is solved. So normally, whenever a student who is having any problem, they can just walk into my chamber and he can express, or he can tell me, this is what's happening, I'm not happy with this, I'm not able to understand. All these things, if they come to me, we'll definitely get the solution, and immediately. The other thing is, you should act fast. Whatever it is, you should act fast and make it possible. In this also, recently I can give you an example. One of the student who we announced the written test for the students. So we said you should not copy, or we should not. You should use the camera, phone. Then every time the video should be on, and nobody should be there in your room when you are writing the paper. All these some instructions we are given. So one student, his twin brother is also in the same class. So they had only one phone, and their parents were working. So computer was there, laptop was there, so she could start with the laptop. Then the brother and kept the camera in front of her. So her brother was not able to use, because they were not having the mobile phone or something like that. Camera was not there. So they came to me. Their parents also came. This is the problem. And they were writing in the same room. They had only one room house. So how can we write in 2 separate rooms? It is not possible for us. Then we understood their problem. We listened to them. We understood this is the problem. Then we solved immediately, so that you can do like this, you can do like this. So our intention is they should not do any malpractice in this. They should sincerely write the exam. That was our intention. We told them, this is our intention. See, this is like this. So you can manage in this way. So this way, if you listen to them, if you sit and listen to any problem, that can be easily solved. And there is nobody to listen to them, then the problem can be increased, or so that way I would say those, the faculty or the student or staff, anybody, first listen to them and say that you are there to help them, and you take the decision immediately, and that kind of assurance you give, your problems completely can be solved.
That is true, sir, because having an open door policy and being approachable
Yes.
is what helps the college grow as well, and the student gain confidence in the college itself.
Yes.
And that is what I observed when I came into the entrance as well. But I saw that your door was open as well, and
Yeah.
that is what impressed me. I saw that sir is sitting in he's the director, and his door is open, and people are coming in, approaching with their problems, and he's giving them solutions quickly, and then attending everybody. So that is great, sir. And this is all we had to ask to you. Thanks a lot for coming up and giving this interview to us, and this certainly will be helping aspirants of Nirma Institute of Pharmacy a lot as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I hope definitely students will understand what we are doing by this, and it will go to a wide audience so that they will understand what Nirma University Institute of Pharmacy is doing for the pharmacy profession as well as for the society.
Thank you.
Thank
Sir.
you.
Thanks a lot.